Show. This is JR The Bossman and John Beckler. John, how you doing today, buddy?
I got no complaints, JR. No complaints. Another winter day, just trying to stay warm and, it's trying to stay on the nice list, trying to stay off the naughty list, JR.
Oh, I hear that. And we got a great present for you all today. We're joined by the Florida State men's basketball coach, Coach Ron Hunter. Coach, how are you doing today, sir?
Man, I'm doing well. The sun came out today, and it's a little chilly here in Atlanta, but it could be a lot colder.
Oh, I hear that, Coach. And it seems like your team is real hot so far, Coach. You guys have opened up 6-2. What's your impression so far of your roster? How do you feel like you guys have played this early part of your season?
Well, I think we're playing good basketball. The great thing for me as a coach is we're not even close to playing as well as we will when we start to peak this year. And so we've been able to win some games by not playing our best basketball. And so that's the scary part I know for opponents, because when we start to peak, this team's going to be really, really good. I love this team. I love us defensively. And I think that we're going to have a very, very special year.
Well, Coach, you guys have about a 13-day break between games. Is there anything in particular you're trying to emphasize during that span? And if you could expand on maybe some of the difficulties that poses for you as coach.
Yeah, it's tough. It's funny. We played 8 games in 20 days to start the season, and we didn't get enough time to practice and some of those things and make adjustments. And so now all of a sudden we've got this long gap. And, when you're winning games, you want to continue to play. But I really believe this is going to help us, because we've kind of went back to what we call training camp mode again, and start working on some fundamentals and working on some things that can really help us. Because once we start playing again, this is the last time we'll get this type of practice time until after the season. So we're using this as kind of a break in the season, uses a mini camp, and so we can work on some deficiencies that we have so we can make them better.
And, Coach, 2 big games coming up for you next week against Old Dominion and Southern Miss. If you can, Coach, I don't want you to give away too much information. What have you seen on film from these guys that maybe post some things for your team that may be difficult, or some things that may work in you guys' favor?
Well, Old Dominion is playing great basketball. They beat LSU, and then they turn around and beat VCU, 2 very good basketball teams. And Jeff has done a tremendous job of reviving that Old Dominion basketball team. And so we know we've got our hands full going in there and playing. But, we feel like we're playing good basketball right now. We've got to go in there and really defend them. And I think what you're seeing is you're probably seeing 2 of the top 10 mid-major teams. They're going to get an opportunity to play next week when we play them. And then we turn around with a quick turnaround, and we've got Southern Miss coming back in our place. And then we turn around and go play Green Bay, a team that we just beat the other day and who beat Miami. So our next 3 games are really, really important games. They're tough games, but we feel good about it. We feel like we're a good team, but we're also playing good teams.
Coach, you have about 8 newcomers on your roster this season. Have they kind of filled any roles that you had expectations for them to fill throughout the course of this early part of the season? And how do you see them fitting into the Georgia State way so far?
That's a great point, because one of the things is that when you have a lot of the newcomers, it takes a while to kind of get the newcomers to gel with the veterans, and that's what's been impressive about our start, is that we've still been able to win games as we're still trying to figure each other out, and then we turn around and we can have these practices. But the newcomers are doing very well. They're still trying to figure it out, whether it's Kevin Ware or Jordan Sessions and Isaiah. So we've got some guys that are really starting to come and starting to make a difference with us. And so meanwhile, our veterans are really carrying us until the newcomers feel 100% comfortable. And that's why we said when we peak is when all the guys are comfortable playing together, and we're getting close to that.
And, Coach, and while you're in training camp mode, has it helped the newcomers? Are you seeing the progress each day when you're going through this camp that they're getting better from playing those 8 games, now getting to go back, break it down a little bit, have on-court coaching, on-court points? How's that going for you guys so far?
It's great because, now you can look back at the games. When you don't play the games and you're practicing, the new guys, you can't really understand game speed and what really happens. There's a huge difference of what happens in a game and what happens in practice based on the speed and how things change. And so we can kind of go back and say, okay, here's some things we want to change. And it's been great for those guys. They understand it. They understand our system now. They understand the style. They understand when they're going to play, how they're going to play. And so all those things help. And what really, when you add winning to it and you add confidence, and that's when it starts to roll. You get a confident basketball team, and they're growing and growing and growing, and you can you get better, and we're stacking wins together. And so when you add those things up, what you do is a recipe to have a great year. We did that last year, but I think we're going to be better this year just because we're so much better defensively.
And, Coach, as we said earlier, already won 6 games out of your 8. What are some players who we haven't mentioned so far who's played this season have exceeded your expectations so far that you're happy with and seeing what they can do on the court for you guys? So what's some of them guys you want to throw out there for us so we can kind of keep an eye on it? We need to see, though, these guys are really doing a thing for Coach Hunter in Georgia State, the Panthers.
Well, the two guys that get all the headlines, of course, R.J. Hunter, my son, and then Ryan Harrell. We feel we've got one of, if not the best backcourt in the country. Statistically, if you look at it, there are no other two guards that are doing what these two guys are doing right now, and so they're really, really special. And then you add to Kevin Wares and T.J. Shites and Marcus Kreider, some veteran guys that we've got, and so it's really becoming a team. The guys understand their roles. I don't care if you're playing baseball, football, basketball, whatever level you're doing. Once the guys understand their roles and they believe in the team, that's when you get success. It's not about that one individual. And so all the guys are starting to figure that out, and they're playing for each other. And as a coach, there's nothing beautiful to see that when guys are playing for each other. And that's what these guys are doing. And they're a really close, tight-knit group, and it really is. It's fun to see when you put talented guys together and they start to play together.
Coach, typically this time of year, there are some points of emphasis that you can kind of get from the officials, or the officials have started calling, like hand checking or block charge calls. Have there been any rules or calls of emphasis that you've noticed in your season so far?
Man, I just want them to be consistent. I think the game's hard enough. I mean, just be consistent when you're at home or the road or whatever. You're hitting a soft spot. When you start talking about officiating right now, it's it's so up in the air. And I know they're doing the best job they can, but at the end of the day, our game could be great if officiating stays consistent. Whether it's hand checking at Duke, it's got to be hand checking at Georgia State or Georgia Tech or wherever it might be. The consistency of it is something that we need to make sure it maintains, and it can't change a week from now. And so whatever the rule is, call it by the rule, but be consistent about that. I think that's what needs to happen right now in our game with officiating. If we can do that, boy, it's just going to make this sport continue to grow more and more.
Coach, is there any rule in particular that you would like to have changed? Maybe a shorter shot clock, block charge. There's a rule. If Coach Hunter was commissioner of the NCAA for one day, what rule would you want them to institute ASAP?
If I was commissioner, the first thing I would do is Georgia State can never lose a game. That's the first thing. Then the second rule I would make is that I do think the shot clock is too long. I think that 45. I mean the 35-second shot clock. It's just too long. I think that I think we don't have to do what the NBA does, but the women's shot clock should not be shorter than the men's shot clock. That makes no sense to me. And so I think that that's the first thing that we need to address, and we need to change a little bit. So. And then I do love the first rule also. Just you can never beat Georgia State. That makes me happy and makes my family happy and keeps me employed. So you asked me for a wish list, so I wanted to give you one that was a reality and one that was definitely not a reality.
Hey, we want you there too, Coach. We want you at the GSU too, Coach. We support you doing that, Coach.
Well, I appreciate that.
And, Coach, what are your expectations for your team this year in league play? And what's the season of Sun Belt Conference that we need to watch out for as well with you guys going forward this season?
Last year we had a terrific year. We were 17-1, and you had a lot of breaks. And again, we could have a better basketball team, and it may not be 19-1. But what we want to do is every place we go, we know we've got a bullseye on our chest, and so we want to be 1-0 every time we play. Don't look too far ahead. Don't worry about conference tournament, postseason tournament. Don't worry about winning the championship. Just worry about the next game. All we're concerned right now is our next game is Old Dominion. Worry about that. I think when you start looking too far ahead and worrying about this team and worrying about that team, at the end of the day, all we want to worry about is Georgia State, getting Georgia State better, and being 1-0 that day. If we do that, we're at the end you can look back and say, wow, you had a great year. But let's just stay in the moment. One of the hardest things to do with college athletes is keep them in the moment. And that's what that's my job, is to make sure we just stay in the moment right now. Let's just worry about this next game coming up.
Now, Coach, we're in the midst of the holiday season. If you could expand on or speak to some of the community events or charity work that the team or the university has planned for the holiday season in the community, and just kind of let people know where they can get out and maybe help GSU, help the community.
Well, the one beautiful thing about Georgia State is it really does a lot in this community, whether it's athletics or just our student population anyway, or the university. They do a tremendous job. Personally, with our basketball team, we're tied into the shoe project that I do with Samaritan's Feet nationally, and so we're really tied into what we do with children, not just in this country but around the world, getting shoes out to impoverished children that can't afford shoes, whether it's in Central America, South America, or in Africa, wherever it might be. And so that's kind of what has been with me and our basketball team. But the university has done a great job of going out in the city and making sure, whether it was Thanksgiving and serving meals to all the things that we're doing. We just had a big deal with the teddy bear part that just came out, and the number of teddy bears that people brought in that we can deliver to children. So that's one of the reasons why I love coaching here at Georgia State, is because the university is really committed to making our community here in Atlanta a better city, and then our basketball team wants to reflect that also.
And also, Coach, if you could share with us before you go, because we're in season. I know you told us like doing the off season. What is your typical day that they like now in season for practicing, scheduling, talking to the administrators about classes? So tell us a little bit about how your day is now that you guys are full-fledged in season.
It's busy. I mean, we start very early in the morning. You get in our guys ready, and we bring our guys early in the morning. It's usually when they get their weights in and lifting, and then then we got to make sure we meet with academic advisors and get all those things done because of our travel. Then you still have to continue to recruit every day, and so you're on the phone working with recruits, and you're doing interviews like this to the wonderful media out there, and part of that's got to get done. Then we bring our guys back, and we practice generally at 7:00 at night, and then after practice we watch film, and then you go to bed, you get back up at 6:30, you do it all over again. Then you had to travel, and so if I tell people this would be an unbelievable profession if I just showed up for the games and just coached. That's probably about 10% of what we really do. But there's a lot of it. There's a lot that goes on. But I'm very fortunate and very blessed to have this job. I mean, I love what I do, and I've been extremely blessed with that, and I would never complain 1 second about what I do, because again, I've been blessed to be able to do that. So, and to coach and teach young men, between the ages of 18 and 22 years old, is an unbelievable blessing. So I truly enjoy that.
And, Coach, the good thing about you having practice at 7 o'clock, Coach, is that you can miss the traffic on the downside connector. You can miss the traffic on 400. So at least you go home, you can get home without traffic and issues.
Well, that's the thing. You have it early in the morning, you have it late at night, and so you end up spending a lot of time. When I first took this job, I thought that you could leave your home about, let's say, you're 5 miles away from someplace, and you think usually 5 miles means it's 5 to 10 minutes. 5 miles in Atlanta means it's probably going to take you an hour, and so it took me a while to kind of figure that out. But we use traffic based on a lot of things that we do around here.
Oh yeah, Coach. I can tell you, living out there in Clayton County, Coach, I try to get off at Turner Field and navigate my way up there through downtown. I don't go through the whole connector. I never hit you guys at Cortland. I hit you Turner Field, and I go around their way because I'd rather go around the street way, be driving and stuck on that connector for an hour or two.
Yeah, that's the one thing. I made them put a couch in this office. There's many times I said, I'm not dealing with that. I'll just sleep right here.
I hear that, Coach. Well, Coach, I tell you what, it's always great for you to join me and John. We're doing it real soon, Coach, and good luck next week, ODU and Southern Miss, Coach.
I appreciate you guys having me on. Look forward to doing it again.
And that was the coach of Georgia State University men's basketball coach, Ron Hunter. Great conversation with Coach Hunter as always. We'll be back after the break.
Hip-hop fans, I got a great album for you. The debut album from Family Grind ENT, True Speech and 313 Fresh. We're going to give you 2 discs, 33 songs of pure, genuine hip-hop. Albums available on iTunes, Amazon, Google Play, illstreetrex.com, and streaming live right now on Rhapsody, Beats Music, Spotify, Xbox Music, Slacker Radio, and SoundCloud. Check them out today, True Speech and 313 Fresh, Family Grind ENT. Believe in it, get it. For all your photo, video, and voiceover needs, check out the fine folks at Blueberry Productions. They will take good care of you. If you don't believe me, you can see for yourself. Check out their work at blueberryproductions.tv, the Facebook page, Blueberry Productions, also a Vimeo page, a YouTube page, and it's Blueberry, BLUBERRY